Well, what happened yesterday was unprecedented. It has nothing to do with what President Trump announced in 2016 and 17. The level of protection and the level of tariffs is unseen in the last decades. The economic theory behind it, if I can call it that way, is not understandable. So I'm very concerned about the impacts that this will have, not on one hand on the US economy. The experience of 2016-17 shown that it was the US economy and the US consumers that suffered the most, but obviously the impact that we'll have in other areas and also obviously in the European Union. EU-US is the largest trade cooperation in the world, and this certainly affects everyone. The supply chains that were created in the last decades were able to create a very efficient economic system where productivity have boosted.
Right.
And this decision is a bad economic policy decision and is also a confrontation of the two main democratic areas that it's unnecessary and with very negative consequences.
Portugal is a very export-oriented economy, and you trade very heavily with the United States. Have you done the maths in terms of what this latest round of tariffs would mean in terms of economic impact for yourself?
Well, I think the main problem is not just the level of tariffs that were announced yesterday, is also the uncertainty of this policy. If we go back to 2016-17, President Trump's first mandate, he announced 6 times changes on tariffs in terms of rates, countries and products. Portugal exports in terms of goods, 7% of our exports are directed to the US. Some of the products most likely will not have production in the US sufficient to supply the US consumer, even if aggregated demand is reduced. But obviously there are indirect effects, as some of our main partners like Germany or Italy and France export much more to the US. What our firms have to do, and they're already working on that, is to find other markets to lower their costs so they can continue to be competitive in the US. But obviously the negative impacts on GDP growth, on inflation, will be felt in the next months.